it's kind of awesome that in our lifetime, like we've created a predicament where like we're still depending on each other to be successful. From childhood to now adulthood. It's based on how much we lean into each other and give to each other for these different things that we want to do to come to fruition.
When they ask what this is, tell them this is what the true black image is. One life collective, no black nemesis. One fight, protection of the black premises. This is black privilege. When they ask what this is, tell them.
Welcome to the Black Privilege Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Wolfpack Wealth Investment. I don't know if you've ever thought about getting into real estate investment, but these are the guys to go through. They can teach you about the step-by-step process it takes to purchase your first house, make some residual income, and build that generational wealth. Personally, I worked with them with a group of my friends recently, and we just bought our first property in Rhode Island, and they helped us understand the benefits, the ROIs, the different strategic mechanisms you could take, and why it mattered. So you can find them at wolfpackwealth.org, or you can find them on IG. We'll share that IG in the show notes.
Welcome. This is another edition of the Black Privilege Podcast. We're here today with a special guest and some of the collective.
Yeah. What's up? I'm Mike. How y'all doing?
I'm Baba. How y'all doing?
James, Lanier.
I mean, James is kind of like part of the collective. He's like a unofficial.
You feel me? He work in the shadows.
He works in the shadows.
He in the group chat, but that silent friend that don't say nothing.
Nothing at all.
Just hears the whole conversation.
He's like he serves on what I would say in an advisory capacity.
Well put.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Respect.
cool.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you. I appreciate
spit some
appreciate you guys
knowledge.
having me. Yeah.
Of course, bro.
Yeah.
We like to start off every episode with a mental health check-in. So we're going to have Danny lead that.
This is the obligatory mental check-ins, even though motherfuckers might not want to do it.
Yo, wait. Yeah. Facts. Yo, shout out to the video guy, Danny.
Thank you.
My
Appreciate
guy.
it. No, it's important that we do our mental check-ins. So I'm going to start off because I'm very tired. I did 3 14-hour production days in a row.
That's crazy.
So I am dead tired, but it's always important to come back here and do what we do.
Indeed.
So we're just going to brush it off. We're going to fight through. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I have a vacation in a couple of weeks that I'm looking forward to.
Where you heading?
Aruba.
Let's go.
Okay.
The Happy Island.
Yo, Danny Poppy sitting
He already
at the beach, sipping pina coladas, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm feeling good. So I'm looking forward to that. That's a much needed break. But that's all from me. Let's toss it over to Baba.
Bet. Always exciting. I would say last week was a tough week. It went by fast. Work-wise, I'd say it was like 6, 7. I had a little bit of imposter syndrome last week and just trying to get a handle of like my new role and like, just like, dang.
But what is your new role?
So I'm leading product at my company, the company I work at, Sightly. So I've grown into a bigger team, but like in the moment, I was like, I don't know, I'm like a month in now, and it was just like I was having these moments like, shit, I got this role now. Now I got actually, do the shit that I pray for, So. So yeah, I had those moments. Shout out I talked to like the CEO Adam, and he was real helpful. And that's what I love about us, our relationship, having that community to lift you up. Like he was like, yo, I took the bet on you and I believe in you. And just sometimes having those type of word of encouragement just to remind you that you can do it,
Hey, real quick, So I know Danny brought up imposter syndrome in season 1. So I wanted to Google it real quick. So based on www.betterup.com, it says, imposter syndrome is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally despite being high-performing in external objective ways. This condition often results in people feeling like a fraud or a phony and doubting their abilities. So that's what you were going through. I just wanted the audience, if you didn't know what that meant.
My boy pulled.
Hey, listen, yo, hey.
So where do you feel like you needed that validation from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what
I don't even know. It was just like moments, just thinking. Maybe not to that extent, but it was just like I was trying to get a wrap head around like, how do I get this done with my team? How do I lead them in the right way? Mm-hmm. Am I more so doing the right job? Mm-hmm. Like when you're in that role, it's like, you're used to like, my old role was like, I was doing projects. So I knew when my project was going good because I had the deliverable. You have reactions based off of like, okay, do they like it? Do they not like it? I had a role in design, so it was always very much, you could see the reaction. Same thing like when I do photography. I can tell based off of people's reactions if they love it. But when you go into like leading a team, it's like you're not, I think oftentimes they say like, sometimes being a leader is lonely in that sense because you don't really have, like, I'm not going to share that with my team because there's a belief in me. I'm like, I can't be, I'm leading y'all. I can't be out here going through my own internal thing and dumping that on y'all because I want y'all. So it was kind of that thing. It's hard to move from being the doer to like trying to work and like motivating the team to do it. And that's kind of like how I'm trying to figure out what actually success means for me in this role. What does that look like? And I think that's kind of the journey I'm on.
Well, I'll tell you this, you can do it. Yeah. You're more than capable of doing it.
Like, appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So whatever doubts you have, I think it's just, like they say, maybe you just having cold feet about it. But, give it some time, you settle in, and then you'll find your own path in the way that you like to do things. And you'll find a rhythm. You'll be fine. You'll be
Appreciate
fine.
that. Appreciate that.
Well, Mike, since you're talking, let's head it over to you.
Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and throw the glasses on for this one.
How does that change the number?
Got the hater.
I hope I'm not showing too much
chest out too.
Yeah, I bought this when I went to Portugal, so I'm just, doing a little. Drop that one real quick. Anyway, let me be real serious real quick. I would say, over the last week, it's been really, really tough, like getting like a good balance of like sleep. To be honest, like I've been not even just physically drained, just like I wouldn't say physically drained, just like very like lethargic. And I think something like I haven't really felt like that in a while, in a few months, but just like kind of just not motivated to do much. At least just last week. I still got things done. But maybe in terms of my overall productivity, it wasn't where I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So that's where I was, mentally was just tired. But, the weekend got a little bit better. Shout out to the event we went out to in Philly with Connect Philly and Rec Philly. That was cool. I'm glad I went with, Matt, and Baba. It was a way for me to get out of the house, obviously. And, meet some creatives and professionals like ourselves. And then reconnecting with people I didn't know. Well, I knew, but haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
So that was really, really cool. So, that kind of helped pick the spirits up. And then obviously, James is here for the podcast, but he came. So it was great, like, to chill and catch up with him for a little bit. And we went to Barcade.
I had to give everybody to work real quick.
Matt was nice. What was that, Street Fighter you was? Matt was whooping ass in Street Fighter. I can't even hold
you. didn't see him get whooped.
Yeah, but we.
But I didn't see that. That dude was like 50, all right? And he was playing for like the last 40 years.
Let's talk about it. Can we talk about it for a minute?
Go ahead.
We're playing the game. Matt's whooping my behind. But in the back, my man's just talking about how...
Oh, the dude.
He's talking about how the character I have is at a disadvantage. The character Matt has is like so much faster. He's talking about the combos that Matt's character can do. And I'm just like...
He was into it.
All right, so honestly, he's passive-aggressively telling me, like, get off the sticks because he wants to play.
Yeah.
But the other thing was like, whoever goes against this bull is in for it.
Yeah. And I wasn't paying attention to who was behind me because, I was beating people.
Okay, you're shooting at me a little bit. That's all right. I'm gonna keep it moving. Yep. But Matt wasn't paying attention to what the bull was saying behind me because he probably would have said, yo, you got another friend that wants to take this politely to avoid the whooping.
Yep.
So
it wasn't a whooping. It was just like a
massacre.
That thing.
Oh, you got massacred?
I thought you were going to downgrade it.
I will say this. Matt beat me, and I came back and had my revenge because I did win the second time.
But you didn't win overall, though. It was best out of 3, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
of course Matt going to do the best.
But I step away, and I come back, and the bull is pressing buttons. And
it was 10 seconds.
It was 10 seconds of just...
Dang.
That was
overall,
it.
just
melody with the fingers on the combos.
You didn't get a hit off?
He didn't even
not
hit
the
him.
second, not the second round.
Matt blinked once and it said finish it.
And Matt just walked away.
Nah, I didn't see it.
I was like,
That's like, so awkward.
Hey, the one fun thing we did was Time Crisis though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if they actually had that available at Xbox or PS5, but I need that game.
Which one was that one?
That was the one we were like we took
when we
turns,
were
took
shooting.
turns,
Yeah,
and, you know.
You gotta duck and shoot people. Yeah.
But then when
right.
they had the superheroes with Spider-Man jumping all over the place, I was like, all right, this is impossible.
Yes.
So
Smooth.
anyway, overall, we can, I guess for me, allow like my week to at least end in, you know, good fashion. And I'm here, so I'm straight. I can't complain. God is good.
Awesome.
Word.
Thanks. Matt, let's talk to you, bro.
This week was pretty good. The event on Friday night definitely gave me motivation to continue doing what I'm doing. I can't really speak on what I'm doing, but it just gave me good
got moves.
vibes. You know, like
moves in the pocket. Damn.
yeah. I'm trying, but it just let me know that things don't happen overnight, and if you got to be consistent and keep doing what you're doing, and then eventually you'll be able to see, you know, the fruits of your labor. So, and then just networking, and then getting an opportunity to connect with different people in different spaces was good. The actual week went by, like Baba said, very quick. By the time I knew it was Thursday, I'm like, Jesus Christ. But overall it was good. Overall it was good. I don't really have any complaints. Saturday, linked up with my guy to the right, Nugg, and we had a good time, like we just talked about at the arcades. And then afterwards, you know, we had some discussion that definitely was very fruitful. So I had a good weekend overall.
Awesome. All right, well, James, you're the last one. Finish us off, bro.
Listen, I'm a 10. I'm with my boys.
Let's get it.
I missed y'all. I've been looking forward to this all week. I mean, through the week, I just kept my head down on work. It's pretty routine for me. So, like, when you guys factor in, like, your tiredness into the number, it's making me think, like, yo, all right, am I normalizing something that I shouldn't normalize? Because I always work a certain amount of hours because I kind of track everything. So, like, when I work a certain amount of hours, I know what I'm getting at this point. So, but as a result of that, I do find some fatigue and I find myself tired a lot. So, but when you guys are, I would still factor myself as a 10 though, regardless of that.
Yeah.
So when you guys are doing it, I'm just like, oh, interested. When I get back home, I'm going to think about how that really truly affects me, you know? So, yeah, but all in all, 10. I really miss you guys. It's good to see all y'all.
Good to see you
too, bro.
And this is awesome what you guys are doing.
I think the last time we saw you was for Matthew's birthday in DC.
Is that the last time?
Yeah. Was that?
In person?
Like it was.
Yeah,
in person, bro.
Yeah, that was.
Last year in March, yo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good to be here, man.
Finally got him on now. Finally got him on.
Well, I appreciate you guys for sharing, and I'm gonna take it over to Matt. What are we talking about today, bro?
I just want to get a little perspective from James Lanier. I'm not gonna call him his name, Nugget, but
Nugg, we call him Nugg.
This guy to my right, he does a lot. Like he just mentioned, he works. He's a police officer in Rhode Island. He's the founder of a thriving startup with Wolfpack Wealth, and he's done a lot. We've known him since what, 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah.
He was he had us doing gym workouts in his basement. We call them gel workouts. He had us on the track. So let's just start off with my first question is being a captain, you know, high school.
I'm taking it back to
we're gonna take it back a little bit.
Way back.
You were a captain your junior and senior year. Did that, you know, turn into, what did you learn from having to be a captain of a football team?
I learned how to become a winner from starting from the bottom of being a loser and it being a part of the culture. But I essentially learned the things that are needed to be done to change that from becoming a loser to a winner, and the things that you need to be successful as a team.
Mhm.
And one of those first things was the way you hold yourself accountable. And mainly, I was voted a captain or chosen a captain because I just decided to take the route of just being the most perfect example that I could be. Even when I didn't like feel like it. It was just one of those sacrifices where if you want to win, if you want to have a successful team and an impact that you want to have, you have to take the first step towards it, and then others will follow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you did a good job as a leader. You know, like you
Appreciate
had
it.
you had us following you.
Yeah. I'll say you probably was the most disciplined person I've ever met.
Yeah,
at that
I'd
age.
agree. I'd
Yep.
agree.
Where did that like
Come
where did that come from? Being this like
Is that like your upbringing, like with your
Yeah,
pops?
what?
Like,
No, because I wasn't like the best kid like prior to getting to high school.
Mhm.
I wanted the attention for being funny, right?
Mm.
And I think it's a matter of my freshman year just looking around and seeing where I'm at. And I honestly made a decision to myself of who I want to be.
Mhm.
So I didn't want to be the clown no more. I wanted to be taken seriously.
Mhm.
And I looked at upperclassmen that I wanted to aspire to be. And just the gap between me and them
Mhm.
was significant. So I didn't have time to clown around no more. I didn't have time to be undisciplined no more. And if I wasn't going to take it serious, nobody else, including my parents, were going to take it serious. So
Mm.
Word. All right, I got one other question.
yeah.
When it comes to your younger days, being the youngest of three siblings, I'm the younger of one. I mean of two. But did you learn anything from your older siblings, your older two sisters, that you applied to your life? You know, how you move certain things, maybe it's finances or just responsibility in general.
So that dynamic is interesting. So both my sisters already had families when I was very little. So they typically were babysitting me. So I was playing with my like nieces and nephews. Um, what I learned from them, I'm utilizing now. So like I reflect back on their family lifestyles and apply them to how I like dictate my family, how I live the lifestyle of my family now. So I didn't really have anything to use from them other than some disciplinary things that all kids get.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm reflecting on things that we did as a family and bringing them into my core family.
Okay.
Word. Well, I'll say this, James. Like, one thing I want to say, at least now, is to at least give you your flowers, bro. Because obviously, like, you've been my best friend since I moved to South Jersey from Trenton, and to be able to see the growth from when we were in high school and then through college, and then now you have a beautiful family. You know, your son and your daughter and your wife. Wookie is she crazy, but you got a great one. You
You
got a
said that
great
on the
one.
mic.
She gonna get you for that.
Oh, I don't
Hey,
care, yo.
don't edit
Wookie
that
can
out
get
either.
the smoke, bro.
Do not
Wookie
edit
can get
that
the
out.
smoke. I don't care.
Shout out
Keep
to
that
Wookie.
in there.
You
Keep
get
that
the
in
smoke.
there.
But nah, like when I met her, I was like, yo, like I am so happy. So I just wanted to say, bro, like from one brother to another, yo, like I fuck with you and I love you, bro, and I'm so happy for like
I appreciate it, man.
where you are. Like, so I got a question for you, just off the cusp.
Yeah.
So when you I want you to talk a little bit about this, because when you got out of college, you know, going into the police force, I want you to talk about a little bit about your journey, what that incorporated. Like, just talk about your life experience with that and what you are hoping to achieve in that field, and then anything that you were interested outside of it. You know, like obviously with real estate, wanting to have residual income and all that stuff. Talk a little bit about that, bro.
So the way my life is now wasn't a purposeful intention that I had coming out of college.
Mm.
It's weird. Like from college to maybe 5 years back, everything was coincidental. And it's kind of the universe just pulling me in the direction that it wanted me to go. I didn't necessarily want to be a police officer.
Yeah, what you want to be growing up?
I had no clue.
Yeah, because you went in for, your major was what, criminal justice?
It was criminology, and my minor was business, but it wasn't because I just liked the discipline of it. I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to be. So the opportunity came to me while I was actually in DC, my externship. They told me to apply to the police department.
Yeah, I remember when you came down. Okay.
So I did it. And then I just ended up offering me. And I got that letter the day before my graduation.
Wow.
So I just said, you know what? I don't have anything else. And my dad told me there ain't nothing waiting here for you. Which I think that he did that based off of his life experience. So I feel like I probably could have came back home and figured something out. But he was just like, don't come back here. Like there's nothing here for you unless you already have some connection. No point for you to come back with nothing.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm gonna do the academy then, because that's all I had going for me at that point. And from that point, I started it. It was tough, and I was broke. I roomed with a complete stranger off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
I don't advise this.
He said, I don't.
We're going to spend some time on this topic.
Yeah.
I got
about
this
that.
joint.
I went on Craigslist. I don't even know how I found out about this. Like, imagine I'm still 20, like young 20s. I don't even know Craigslist is utilized for this.
Yeah.
But it's like
you can get anything on Craigslist.
Yeah, but it's just
it's actually kind of scary.
Yeah. But it's people looking for roommates.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I just started messaging people, and I got like 2 answers back. And
He said, I got two.
it ended up being a young lady who was actually going to school for nursing.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was me, her, and her husky that howled every few hours. Yep. I didn't have a bed. I slept on the floor for the first month. No, the first week after I got my check, because we got paid weekly at that point, I bought like an air mattress. Had a hole in it.
You bought it? It came with a hole?
I didn't have time to return it because the academy, it's strict. Like, you got to be there on a certain time. You only have so much time. So every morning it'd be flat.
Honestly, I blame the husky. I think the husky has
Not even. It's not. No, it was the defective air mattress. I didn't have time to go back.
Yeah.
So I would have to fill it up every day.
Knowing that it was going to be flat in the morning.
But listen, you knew I wasn't going to oversleep because I was already uncomfortable. So, I'm
going to be on time today.
That's wild, bro.
I go through the academy. I graduate.
Yeah.
I start making a little bit better money. But my student loan started in December. It was hefty because I'm paying the one I have and I'm paying my father's, that because he did the Parent Plus loan.
Damn,
and I'm not going to have him take that on. So I took care of it. But the first thing I bought with my check was a king size bed. The biggest bed I could find, I bought it. And I said, I'm going to struggle. I'm used to struggling already. I'm going to struggle for one more week. And then I'm going to get this thing rolling. So that's exactly what I did. And in my research of how to get out of the situation that I was in, because I was still broke, I bought the same groceries every week to get by the chicken cutlets and rice and broccoli. And I'll just cook that up. And the way to mix it up, I would just get a different type of seasoning.
That boy got the season.
I would get a different type of seasoning, all right, the barbecue.
Nice.
Italian. And I'll just switch it up like that. But
you made it work though.
Yeah, I made it work. So in my research, basically, I said, all right, I'm going to try real estate because it makes the most sense for me based on my background of being able to communicate with people effectively. I think I'm going to be good at it. So the main thing with real estate is you need a lot of money to get started. So I said, okay, I have to act poor again on purpose.
Yeah, to say.
So I guess at that point, coincidental to find real estate to get out of the situation, that was coincidental, but that's when I got purposeful. So then I purposely moved to the lowest rent type neighborhood.
So you moved to the hood. You
essentially, yes, I did.
Yeah.
and I was paying $675. So I went.
I wish I saw
so it was a
those
big
prices
savings
today, bro.
And it was for a 2-bedroom too. Small 2-bedroom, $675.
$675 for a 2-bedroom?
Yeah, it was a small. Yeah,
He was living.
What?
yeah. And then once again, coincidentally, my wife
Oh, you
was my neighbor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My
Ooh,
wife.
So
my
that's
wife
how you
now,
guys met.
Yeah, she was my neighbor.
See how beautiful, like, God is good.
Yeah. So but essentially, did I answer your question all the way through, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Wookie, if you're watching this, you notice how I tried to get some brownie points. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
But go ahead, James. I'm sorry, bro.
But yeah, so then I met her, and then long way story, but I ended up successfully buying my first property, and then her competitive nature, she decided to buy property at the same time. Now, and then this is when our real estate investing journey started. From that point on forward, so.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Neighbors?
That they were neighbors, and that's how it
I
all
remember.
came
I
together.
remember.
But the funny
story,
thing is, we were beefing at that time.
Oh, for
So
real?
now it became a competition of who bought the property first, who got their first property first.
So wait, how did that conversation even, wait, I guess just by you guys just like, was it like when you guys were dating, or were you just friends when you started telling her about like what your intentions were about, like, hey, I'm interested in real estate? And then like, were you guys together?
So we were dating. Like, she didn't take me seriously at first because I was young. I'm a lot younger than her. Well, not a lot, but a little bit younger than her. But she was still on her grown woman stuff. So she was like, "Oh, I'm not going to take you serious yet." And then eventually, she began to take me serious. And then I learned how controlling she was. So then I backed off. But then I was like, you know what? This is good for me. So then I leaned into it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily remember why we were beefing during the time of like purchasing the real estate. But then like we were still competitive about it. I won. I got the property before her.
He said I won.
But the discussion with I like introduced that idea because I already had it. So because that was my new passion, I was always talking about it when I was with her. So I guess she caught the bug too, and then that's all she wrote.
Nah, that's what's up.
I got a question. So, the question is, what influenced you to start Wolfpack Wealth?
I got bored.
All right.
Yeah, I literally got bored. So I built my portfolio to a certain number that just checked the box for me to say like, hey, and I wasn't managing as intensive as I used to. Like the first house I bought, there was birds in the roof. I had to figure out how to get them out. I had to figure out how to push the rents up in a responsible manner, where the people that I needed to transition out because they couldn't afford it felt okay and gave them enough time. And then just build all the properties that I had up to a standard that was acceptable to me and made it easier to manage. It took about 3 years. And once I got to that third year, it got boring. I was doing everything from my phone. And then it just got very like standard. So I had to figure out something different to do. I didn't really figure that out until actually you asking me different questions about real estate and how would this work and how would that work. And you presented the idea of how does it work if a group of people buy a piece of real estate. I had a general idea of it, but I didn't have the specifics yet. So then I quietly started doing my research again and became on board. And out of that, I pulled friends of friends, some family together, and Wolfpack Wealth was created. That whole process, you guys know, took, 2 years?
Yeah.
To actually purchase the first property, which I love because now we have the system, and it's something new for me. So now I'm not bored, but the inspiration was I was in boredom.
And
found a new challenge.
And needed to find a new challenge to conquer.
All right, give us a quick mission statement for Wolfpack.
For Wolfpack Wealth?
Or like your goal with it.
Well, my goal was to create an easier way for people close to me to invest in real estate if they wanted to. And to have someone to lean on in those places of uncertainty, because it takes a lot of mental fortitude, financial, your own money. Like it takes a lot of money. And like I didn't have all the information when I started, but now you can kind of skip the line and getting that information because you can come right to me or someone else who knows something, and it's a bigger network now because someone might know somebody who does X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So you have easier access to getting things done if you want to. So the potential is there if everyone really leans into it. It's just a matter of getting us all to that point where we see it as something that's very sustainable and can grow. But it's only going to grow with the group that we have now. So I just wanted to give everyone that opportunity that I created for myself because I think it's very beneficial to my life. So I want it to be beneficial to theirs also.
Nice.
So I mean, this is a question for everyone. Why do you think that a lot of people don't go into the real estate? Is it for the lack of knowledge or the lack of finances? Or
I'll go off here. I think one, it's a mix of lack of knowledge. And I say that because sometimes we fear what we don't know. Like you might not hear about it commonly. So you might hesitate to go in there. And I think that was one of the benefits of Wolfpack. Because like obviously, like you said, it's an amount of trust to take your hard-earned money, take it out of your bank account and put it into something that you don't know what the outcome is.
Yeah.
But what was helpful about it was like James took the time to really break down things every meeting. Anytime he's like, yo, ask whatever questions are on your mind. And I think that's the aspect of it. It's like the knowledge. If you don't know, you'll always be a little hesitant. You're like, you know, because you hear so many bad stories, but that's not, you know, typically those are the minority of things that happen versus the majority of stories. But the ones you always hear the most about is when everything went wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, I think it was like education, lack of knowledge.
I would agree with what Baba said. I would say sometimes it could be lack of finances, or lack of being able to tap into resources. Because many times you don't even necessarily have to use your own money. You know, you can leverage others in order to do so. So I would say, yeah, sometimes it could be like I think what Baba said, absolutely, like the fear of the unknown. And sometimes people just aren't connected to people who are in that mindset.
Yeah.
Like some people aren't connected to people who, like, some people are okay with renting or just, all right, I'm gonna buy my house once I get to a certain point and that's like, I'm set. So sometimes it could be the network that you're in. You're not, either you are not exposing yourself or the circle that you have around you is limited. And that calls into question if you want to grow, if you want to be like, if you want to grow financially, knowledge wise, like you got to change your circle. I mean, we can go down the whole rabbit hole about all that stuff. Like, but to answer your question simply, it would be that. Sure.
I gotta say something to that. I don't know if you have to change your circle, you know? I think that
what to get to that,
like with that knowledge thing, because what was beautiful about it is like even with Wolfpack, a lot of the same people that we either that or we just have a really good circle.
No, that's what I'm saying. No,
it was the same dynamic
Yeah.
from when we were younger.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, it was the same type of dynamic of like you guys invested off the strength of me. You know what I mean? And then like in my research, the main point that they made when you're like syndicating is that if anyone's going to lose, it's going to be you first. And you make sure everyone else, if you make sure there's every avenue for the people that invested with you to win. So you need to figure out that first before anything and have maybe 2 or 3 different methods for everyone else to make sure that you make them whole and they win. And then maybe you take the loss because in all honesty, you should take the loss if you made a mistake or an assessment that was off to the point where now you're putting everyone's money at risk. But back to that dynamic of how we were younger where I just take that first step and then you guys have the heart and the courage and enough love to take the step with me. that same dynamic that we've always had. So that's what I attribute it to, honestly, because the guys we have in that group are all within that circle, or an extension of it, because they have enough love and trust in that person that brought them in to do it. So
I like what you said, Baba, because I didn't mean that like for everybody. Like I think I want to say we're the exception, but I don't think you.
I think we are the exception, though.
What I'm saying, yeah, I agree with you, and to a degree that you don't see a lot of that. Like, and I wanted to ask you guys to take the discussion a little bit further, because we all have been friends well over 15 years. We're all it's and you don't. First of all, you don't see friendships last that long, especially with a group of friends. Even if you might move away for a while, but we're still connected. I just want to ask everybody to talk about like our dynamic. You don't have to mention everybody in name, but like, what do you guys love so much about like our group, like of our circle of friends? You can talk. You don't have to be one or two things, but just yeah.
I'm gonna start with the whole down to like Deerwood.
Oh man,
DWC.
It was like what I love about the dynamic is we always push each other. I think in every way, each person has their own like strengths that keep you motivated. I think, like I was saying earlier, James, you were always disciplined. You were always like focused, so that was exciting. Like Matt got heart like nothing, passion for whatever he goes, but he teaches you can always keep going. And Mike, just a smooth cat, bro. Mike is dynamic and knows how to flow, but it's the fact that we have such a.
Gotta put on.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, I ain't mean to hype my boy up. Some people don't know.
I love the love, bro. Yo, speak from the heart.
Nah, that's from the heart. But what I loved about it is we had a dynamic group of friends that each person has their own strength that you could really learn from. You know, it's not leaning one way to another. Every person has their own interest. But the way that we're able to come together, learn from each other, push each other, and also, quite frankly, keep it real with each other. And I think that's the most important part. They'd be like, you on some bullshit, Baba. But this, that, and the third, and I think that's why it's just worked. Like, and that's what I love about it.
Right.
Hey,
it's free for all. I want all of y'all to talk, because like I'm very.
All right, I'm out throw this, and this is not just like. Just for DWC, it's just a circle that we, created of friends. We're supportive of each other. I feel like if there's something, that somebody's trying to do, I think we support, encourage and each other, and lastly, like you said, we real with each other. Like, I don't think friendship lasts that long if you can't be real and be genuine. Not saying that we all take it, like, and say, like, good in the beginning, but, like, at some point, we might, sit back and be like, yo, like, he was kind of right about that. And then just the fact that we can go back and be like, yo, nigga, you was right about that. Like, it's something that I feel like keeps the friendship going.
I also think the fact that we are now professionally tying ourselves together like helps. Like now we've created an ecosystem where we have to communicate with each other for all the things that we are passionate about to be successful.
A good point.
And it's kind of awesome that in our lifetime, like we've created a predicament where like we're still depending on each other to be successful. From childhood to now adulthood. It's based on how much we lean into each other and give to each other for these different things that we want to do to come to fruition. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think on the memories, and it's kind of crazy, just like to us being like in Torranceville playing football.
Oh man. Oof.
Like, like we've had like amazing memories, whether it's we sitting in Baba's basement or playing 2K. Dude always used to have stale Doritos. Never, used to have mad stale Doritos.
Yo, chill, Mike.
Oh, you did? But yo, I had another thought. The bacon. Remember the breakfast?
The breakfast.
Oh, yeah, we just had a breakfast.
Yo, it's crazy. Let's talk about that. Summertime.
Baba
And
will
that's
come with
it's
the
the village. It take a village to eat a good meal. Each one of us, we would always
take
have
our
a
parents'
bowl.
groceries.
I know they were
Go
hot,
meet
bro.
up at the crib, cook up, have breakfast together.
Yo.
And it goes to just show the everybody eat.
No,
Everybody
thanks,
eat.
yo.
That's the
A funny
motto.
point though. I remember my mom walked. We thought she was going for the day.
Oh, yeah,
we done chefed up. We chilling in the living room. My mom walked in. She said,
hello.
She didn't say this because my mom, she's sanctified, but in her mind, she probably was thinking, what the hell is going on in here? It was like y'all in here lounging, like y'all pay the bills.
It was funny because I remember this day. We were sitting, your mom walked in, and us being kids, we hit against some wall.
Yo, I remember
and stood there like she wasn't going to be able, like I was some chameleon about to blend into the wall. And I just said,
Oh man,
I just had to bring that up, but like I think we've shared some like beautiful memories as a friend group to the point where like we know each other in depth. We know each other as people. Like I think first and foremost, in order to go into business with someone, you have to be able to trust that person.
yeah.
And I think we've established a foundation of trust and unity. And the good thing is like within our dynamic as group, like some of us may tend to lean towards one person during a specific amount of time. And then within our friend, but everybody gets along. And I love that. And you don't know how many people that are either friends of mine, colleagues, or anything, like if I were to like talk about our friend group, when I do talk about my friend group, they're like, yo, that's amazing that, and it's uncommon that you see that, like friends that have been friends for that long. Like you don't see that. And I think that's a testament to the type of people we are, because let's just be real, our friends are a reflection of who we are.
Yep.
They definitely are.
There's something I wanted to ask, Nugg, and it ties it back to like our childhood and a little bit of the work you're doing. We talk about how we used to link up, but one thing that was also apparent is the area we lived in, Deerwood, as kids, we were often pressed by the police for doing innocent thing like playing football in the parking lot or chilling at the park. Some might say it was profiling, which
it was definitely
It was definitely profiling, and we all lived in the neighborhood. And I want to kind of know like how those experiences, obviously you're a police officer right now, how those experiences impacted how you show up as a police officer in your community.
Okay. So with having those experiences, generally it's just, I reflect back to that and I'm just like, why did that even happen? Because like when I show up on a scene, like I don't get reasonable suspicion or become suspicious based off of
the skin color.
Yeah, the skin color, the amount of people. Like I'm looking at actions. Like what are they doing? How well did the person describe in the call of what's actually going on? Like if you're gonna say a black male in a black hoodie walking, I'm on the other end laughing. Like, what are you talking about? Why am I going to this? What else are they doing? So, to answer your question, I don't necessarily know why that happened to us. I remember I was with Jimmy, and we're at the Burger King. I don't know. Were any of y'all with me at
I think it might have been. Was it the BB gun thing?
Yeah.
Because we were at Wawa.
They said the bull with the white tee.
Yeah, white tee, the blue jeans.
Shorts.
Yo, we got searched that day too, bro.
But they were laughing. So our Caucasian friends were laughing. It's like, oh, like they're probably gonna stop y'all, or like, oh, it was y'all.
But it happened.
And we walk out and it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro, I got Burger King in my hand. Why would I have a BB gun on me? Like,
yo, my mom was pissed, and some of us didn't even have white t-shirts on, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand what happened. To be honest with you, at that point,
I didn't either.
I didn't even understand what happened. But now, like that, I am a police officer. Like, and I reflect. Like, I'm not stopping the kid with Burger King in his hand. That doesn't even
add up
at all. So I don't know. That's just.
You think you have more compassion, or you just like more reserved? Like you don't just
jump to a conclusion.
I'm not built like that to make assumptions. I just base it off of how the person's interacting with me. And it's not even like a type of like, some people will say like, hey, you get what you give.
Mm-hmm.
And to that I say like, you're getting what you're getting. You're trained in a particular manner. You still got to give that compassion and empathy. And tying it back to RV, when I was captain of those teams, you have to be the example and take that first step. And then the person you're interacting with, eventually, it might take a little bit for some people because they're in a circumstance where you've been called. It's out of control. They called the police or someone else called the police because they can't control it themselves, or someone else can't control it. So you're the one that has to. And in doing that, you got to be the best example of who the person that you can be, that you should be, to get the situation under control. Because when you're in these situations and circumstances, you have to create partners. Like if I got two people, one's acting up, guy over here, I got to get him on my side. So I need to present the example that guy on the other side likes. To say like, oh, he's cool, he's chill. He's chill. My boy needs to chill out.
Yeah.
Then that happens.
Yeah.
And now I'm not the one, really, I'm not even doing anything no more. It's more of them interacting, and they have a relationship that I know nothing about, but it's built. It's built. They have years behind it, and his boy's gonna listen to him, or he's gonna listen to me.
So that whole aspect of like community policing, how do you feel about that? Because a lot of people think that like from your perspective, like you can build that trust if you're much more active in the community. Like I see, like I hate getting these calls like when they're doing fundraisers for the police, like, oh, we want like, donate, we protect and serve. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't never see these niggas like out like in the community, like just like, I'm not talking about you when something bad is happening. I'm talking about whether like, they're doing an active drive where like maybe, they come to a community, they just knock on the door and just be like, hey, are there ways that we can be better within the community? I don't ever see no shit like that.
So I don't know necessarily, because I
know,
or
it don't matter. Like
I know where I'm at. Like we don't go door to door asking for donations. So that's a thing. Like,
we get calls too.
It might be do
you go into the community, like if there's like a block party or like an event?
I mean, when early on in my career, I had more time to do it, but like most of these guys that are on, it's tough for them to do, or they're doing it in their private life, and it's transitioning over. So maybe they coach a certain sport.
Okay.
And they might not be wearing a uniform, but they're still
they're still there. And typically, like a department has to approve the things that you're doing. So there's a lot of red tape when you can't just go out into the community and do whatever you want to do with your uniform on.
Yeah,
you got to get approval first. And sometimes, depending on the leadership,
they won't do it, or they're hesitant.
It's not that. I wouldn't say they're hesitant. It's more of like, how can we make this the most productive for the department? And not necessarily.
Is that nationwide, or is that just like
what policy? So I mean, typically policies will have something where like, hey, if you're wearing a uniform or representing the police department, the department needs to be notified, and they need to be okay with it, because there's a lot of red tape with that. So I'll say that, and then just a time factor of like me, like I'm not like I coached football for a little bit. That was just because that was my passion. That's what I do. When they explicitly asked me, I did help out and volunteer my time, but now I'm not really asked anymore. I usually target the younger officers for that.
Okay.
So like when you first get in, they give you those like.
Yeah. But should they reach out to more officers? Maybe they'll get more yeses. Yeah.
So what's one thing you would say that you would change
with like the community service aspect of it,
or just interactions with police officers? Is that what you mean, man?
Like just in general, like what's one thing that comes to mind that you would change to better policing and police force? Or
well, I mean, the first thought that comes to my mind is just training on those interpersonal interactions between you and the community, because like not all police officers are the same. They don't talk the same. They don't interact the same. They have different type of personalities. But I personally believe you need to be able to. I think you need to be able to change your personality on scene. Like you need to adopt a personality that's most conducive to getting the situation under control and handling the situation. I mean, not all situations are like crazy things. Sometimes it's just things like, oh, he's building a fence on my property line, and I'm upset about it. So it's not always.
Is
like,
there anything that you do about those type of calls? Like
I just give them information based off of getting that call. Right, it's not the first time. Most of the calls aren't the first time for me anymore because I've been on for quite some time now. So I just give them information that I've gotten over the years to deal with those situations. But
do you feel pressure like from people of color to be like more lenient in your policing at all?
Yeah, because I know some people, they be looking at,
Well,
oh,
come
you
on,
the
brother.
boys. Like, I'm not fucking with this dude.
Right.
Yeah.
do I fit? It's not typically like, do I fit? They let me know. You know what I mean? But
like, yo,
hey, you 5-0, yo.
Yo,
fuck
that's how
outta
you
here.
sell
Like,
out.
yeah, but like me personally,
Yeah.
like if I'm arresting you,
Mm.
hey, you did something, you really messed up,
Right.
kind of thing. Like if you get in a ticket, you went crazy. Like, I'm a little bit more laid back as an officer now in my career. I'm more or less kind of like guiding the younger guys, and making them understand what's really important. Because every officer gets to a point where it's just like, all right, I wanted to be this gun ho guy. It comes a point where it's more about bettering yourself and bettering the people that you're interacting with on a daily basis, because you're most likely going to see them again. And that first interaction is going to dictate all of the other interactions until you change course one way or the other. So that's where I'm at. But that pressure, like they can apply it, but I'm still going to respond the way I need to respond.
I want to take the conversation into an area that kind of intertwines two parts of your life. You rent homes, you're also a cop. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about squatters and stuff that's happened around that. Have you had any like calls like that up in Rhode Island or
with the squatter situation?
Yeah, the squatter situation. Basically, a squatter can.
Yeah, I've been hearing that's starting to become a little bit more rampant. I know it's crazy
so
in New York.
Now they're like advertising it, like it's on media and stuff like that.
Yeah, TikTok. Somebody got to.
So for those who don't know what it is,
that's been a thing.
Oh, do I need to pull out my phone and Google it?
No, squatter. I can tell you exactly. So a squatter will find like a vacant property that like a bank owned property or some like the property owner just gets caught slipping, and they'll just move all their stuff in there. Typically, they'll make a fake lease or try to fake some type of arrangement where they have standing to live there, and then that's what it is from there.
Wait 30 days, but it can take up to 2 years to get them out.
Well, that's depending on the laws that are within that state. So typically, what we do is if we have a squatter situation, I mean, either they leave or detectives just need to do the work to figure out how they broke into the property. And then once they get the B&E part of it, they have a little conversation, and either they cuff them up or they leave on their own. But typically, that's the situation with the squatters. I've had plenty of calls where it went that extent. It took like a year or a few months, and then they bring a big old U-Haul when they finally get the eviction through to like have to take all their property out of there.
Wow.
But they jump property to property. I had a lady, I fell for it. I thought she actually lived there, but the first one I had, she had a lease. She was like, yeah, he actually scammed me. Like she admitted, she was like, yo, he acted like he owned the property. I rented it from him. And here's the Facebook messages. I sent him this money and this money. And I was like, oh, all right, she got scammed. So like, I feel bad. I'm gonna give you like 2 days. Or
that was happening during COVID.
But what it really was, she just sent money to someone she know.
Yeah, just sent her back the money.
Yeah, and the
I
house,
didn't see the okie doke.
And the house was for sale. The house was for sale.
They just took the sign down.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Correct. So that ended up being a situation where detectives had to do a little bit more work to prove, like, nah, you're actually the scammer.
Did they
you're
put
the
her in jail,
fraudster.
bro?
No, they had a little conversation because you got if you cuff her up, it's a little bit more paperwork that needs to be done.
Oh,
So,
okay.
they don't want to do that paperwork.
Yeah, they don't want that work. It take a lot to find someone guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You know,
Word.
the right way. So hey, just leave. You know what I mean? and we know your name now, so
we
do it again.
looking for you.
Yeah,
we on you.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
but yeah, that's quite a situation. So.
Hey, all right. So I wanted to ask one question. Well, there's two, but overall, bro, I would say like you're very much a definition of success. I would call it the Black American dream. I think you're living. I like how I did that.
Exaggeration.
It seemed like you like how you did that.
Did you just point at him to coin the title for the
Black American dream?
There you go. Yeah.
What?
I got it.
Wait,
I got
hold
it.
on. This message is sponsored by my. Nah, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not running for office, but I like that. Anyway, like, all right. The question I was trying to ask you though, is based on where you are in your life. You know, for me, when I look at you, like, for me, you're the definition of success. You got a beautiful family, residual income, occupation that you're proud of. Like, you're checking off those. I'm sure you got a booming 401k. you got the Tesla outside.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I'm driving. I'm dropping all of it, all the nuggets. All right.
He said all the nuggets.
No pun intended.
That's fire.
He said all the nuggets.
That was good. That was good. I ain't even do that intentionally. I ain't do that
He said
intentionally.
I'm on a roll.
I am on the road, but anyway, we've been talking about this whole mantra about what does success mean to you, based on your experience and anybody listening. Can you answer that for me? What does success mean to you?
Or look like?
Yeah, well, it looked like him.
Y'all funny.
In my opinion.
Success ultimately means to me I can move the way I truly feel like I want to move. In a nutshell, but it's a working thing. It's never cemented. You can't stay cemented and say like, hey, I'm successful. I feel like this is where I need to be, and not keep working towards something else, because once that plateau happens, that's when mistakes happen. That's when things get overlooked. So in all, like if I feel like I'm not restricted in my passions, at work, with my relationship, you know, like being able to talk to my wife and not feel restricted, then I feel like successful, right? Let's say I get an argument with my wife and I feel like I can't talk to her right now. Now I'm starting to feel unsuccessful.
So it's not really based on a number. It's more based on.
No, it's not a number. It can't be a number. You can have as much money as you want, but if you don't have anyone around you to influence with it or help, and if you're like alone, what was it all for? What did you do in this world? What impact did you have? Like if your children hate you, but you're rich,
are you really successful?
you're not. No, it's not even a question. You're not successful. All you did was put your energy into one thing, which is necessarily, once you figure it out, is easy, and you ignored the hard thing, which is to keep your relationships in a healthy position. Like people who choose money over love and family and friends, I never understand how to get to that position. Like once you get to a position where you're comfortable financially, now it's time to focus on that other thing that will keep you fruitful financially. And the perfect example is like divorce. And usually a lot of those are over finances. And it's because you got good financially and then you disregarded the relationship part of it. So that's where I am with that. But like, yeah, success was always a working thing, right? I can feel successful, but to say like I am successful in a statement where it's you're trying to project like you're going to be successful no matter what. I would advise against that. Don't ever get in that mind state, because that's when things will go wrong for you eventually.
All right, I just had one other question. Liv Carter, what's some advice, or what advice would you give them, and to like as a part A and part B, when it comes to policing, right? And then just life advice.
So just be yourself. The people that are going to accept you are the ones that you need to keep close. My one main thing. But policing, I'll just say read the situation and call your father.
Have him on speed dial.
Yeah, but policing.
Do they even do that?
What?
Speed dial exists?
Yeah.
Man, it's your favorites.
Yeah, it's your favorites.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and policing, I would say just like I said, give the energy that you want to receive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you instantly feel like you're not getting it reciprocated, call your father, start recording, but do everything you can do to de-escalate the situation also, and don't depend on that particular officer if they're not de-escalating at that point to do it for you. Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up, I figured I'd lighten the load a little bit. All right, so
I love these cue cards, by the way.
Yeah.
You got the
Hey,
random on there?
if you get a chance, then you can do the zoom in.
Oh man.
Shout out to the One Life Collective. Hey, so you got one? Yeah. See? Hey, this is Matthew's idea, so I'm gonna shout you out for that. All right, so we've done in the past like quick segments of either or, and I want everybody to participate in this. And then I have last question is gonna be important because it pertains to the podcast. All right.
Okay.
So everybody, rapid fire. I'm asking 2 questions. All right. J. Cole or Kendrick?
Kendrick.
Cole.
Kendrick.
Cole.
Y'all stupid.
What?
Oh,
chill.
That was
a
harsh. I'm gonna say this. I prefer Cole. I have more of a connection with Cole, but in terms of like artistry, I'm gonna have to say Kendrick.
I didn't
Cole
mean
got
it
me
that
through
hard, like that, but it's just. I
I
didn't mean it like that harsh, but
That came out.
the reason why
kind of violent.
it's like
Yeah,
the
this is what I'm
frustration.
talking
It's a
about. He's passionate
frustration.
about everything.
It's a frustration with Kendrick, and I mean J. Cole like kind
Talk about it.
of like hinted towards it. Like
What's
why does it take 30 months or 3 years for us to get?
Because he's putting out quality, not
Yeah, it
quantity.
is. Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's talk about it, Danny.
But what I'm saying is, if you really the GOAT, you can give us
fired up.
quality like in a year and a half. Like, why does it take?
Why does he want to be burnt? Why does he want to be burnt out for?
Yeah, my question is, why does Kendrick have to work on your time?
No, I'm not saying work on my time. Everybody else sees it.
I'm saying,
Everybody
look at
sees
Frank
it.
Ocean. We still talking about this man dropping another album, but we love every other one of the pieces of his work. Why he got to work on our time?
I mean, Frank Ocean different. So.
I know I was gonna stir
word.
the pot with this.
He's not in that same
What's
category
the
as a GOAT.
Actually,
He's not a
Nugg,
GOAT.
you ready? What's your second question?
Go ahead, yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm just picking Kendrick because of what he's about to do that he hasn't done yet.
The fall off is about to be crazy.
No doubt.
No, it will be.
I don't
It's
doubt
all right,
that
but
at all.
when
I ain't gonna lie.
when Kendrick come back out of the hole, it's gonna be fire.
And I mean, a lot of people don't realize that J. Cole was coming at Kendrick the whole album. It wasn't 1 or 2 songs. He was just firing shots. So I mean, I'm interested to see what
Kendrick about to.
But Kendrick the type that won't respond like right away. So
I
it's
ain't
like
gonna
you
lie.
gotta wait a little
Niggas
bit.
be mad strategic, like.
I honestly think Kendrick's gonna be on the fall off. That's just my take. But
Well, hopefully he is.
Mm.
I mean, I think at this point, they're marketing geniuses at this point because we talking about it.
Yeah.
All right. So this question, either or, is based on the fact that Nugg has a history of playing cornerback in varsity high school, and then also he played in college as well, all 4 years, and he played the cornerback position. So, got one for you: Deion Sanders or Darrell Revis. And I know
I was about to
Danny's
say,
a Jets fan.
No, you already
So
know.
if you intend on offending him, please do. Please do.
he said, please
Two
do.
options you giving me though?
That's
Either or.
bro. That's
Who you picking, Danny?
that's not even a
Let's
question.
go
Who
to
you
you.
think, bro? Who you think, bro?
I'm gonna go with primetime, but I have a preference of choice when it comes to a cornerback.
So who
Enlighten
would you?
us.
Yeah.
Enlighten us.
Deion did not have the number 101 matchups that Revis had.
I don't care
Oh,
about
yeah.
none of
All
that.
for it. All for it. Just all for it.
He
Ronnie
said,
Lott.
just to put that. Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott.
Oh, okay, all
Ronnie
right.
Lott.
That's respectable.
Yeah,
That's
just
respectable.
me.
Why?
he just emulates the style that I like to play when I play cornerback.
Mhm.
Wasn't about all the showboatiness.
It wasn't about getting interceptions.
About discipline.
It definitely wasn't about that. It's about making a statement when you got that ball, or getting a receiver to the point where like maybe they're like, hey, maybe you want to pass it to the other guy. I'm sick of getting hit by this dude. So,
like I would kind of have like. I would have to agree only because I watch more of Darrelle Revis in primetime.
Yeah.
Like Deion is a GOAT. He's the best Falcon ever, play. But
still don't know why you're a Falcons
fan. That's beside the point. But Revis, you ain't throwing his side, like at all. And when you did,
Revis Island,
you regretted it. So.
Pay for it.
No, that was a healthy discussion.
All
right.
Wait, you didn't say who you were.
I will not confirm nor deny my I'm going to stay out of this.
You got to answer the question, bro. You got to answer.
Wait, Baba, who'd you say too?
Yeah, these people trying to get out of the answer.
I'm skating, right? I'm skating, just tag.
Probably Prime.
Why?
Huh? I don't know, man. I like it. I like Prime's I don't know. I like his energy over Revis. Like honestly, I just like Primetime as a person.
Yeah, I think Darrelle Revis was like a silent assassin in ways. Like he ain't do a lot of chatting. He just went about the day to day.
Get the job done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get the job done. Whereas Deion was much more flashy,
in your face.
He also like did more on the field. So as an overall, but just for the specific position alone, I'm a huge Randy Moss fan.
Mm-hmm.
And what I seen Darrelle Revis do to Randy Moss, bro.
Textbook shit.
Yo, Danny over there.
Yeah, you know you're gonna rock out. You're gonna rock out.
No, but it's facts though.
Yeah,
it is.
All right, so I ain't gonna answer it again. I give it a clear answer. I love both of them. So anyway, the last question before we wrap up, being that our podcast is named Black Privilege Podcast, what does Black privilege mean to you?
Man.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I gotta say that's a working definition, because like I feel like we're just getting to that point where we're obtaining it, where it's getting to a point where we can sustain it without the powers that be diminish it to a point where we need to start over again. And I guess Black privilege is seeing communities and neighborhoods of primarily Blacks doing like good, and those stereotypes and assumptions that other people inherently have about us turning to things that are more positive or
positive is a good word to use.
More positive, and not necessarily being inherently like scared just because, like, for example, I guess I'm trying to say, like, if someone didn't interact with a Black person before, that first initial bias that they have.
Oh, like changing perception.
Yeah, instead of it being a negative bias, it being more of a positive bias.
Like he's not going to rob me or something. Like
oh, I need to talk to him. He might know someone who could
give me some loud pack.
Give me some advice or influence me to do something well with myself. Being associated with things like that instead of
the negative kind
the other negative. Yeah, changing the narrative for ourselves. But so that's what I think.
All right, well, I appreciate you.
Close
us off, man.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
Brother.
And that ends another episode of the Black Privilege Podcast. Thank you for joining.
Peace.